We hear you, the people out there, and we know you know the power and control that the Jews have. Imagine this, it's 10 p.m., and you're on your couch, ready for your nightly escape into absurdity courtesy of The Daily Show. But tonight, instead of the usual lineup of scathing satire and piercing commentary, you get hit with a shocking announcement. Jon Stewart, the man who'd become the voice of a generation, is leaving the show after 16 years. He was the face of The Daily Show, a voice of reason, a source of truth, and for many, the best teacher they never asked for. Why would he walk away tonight? We're diving deep into the real reason Jon Stewart left The Daily Show at the peak of his career. Was it burnout, frustration with the system, or something more personal? And most importantly, what has Stewart been up to since? We'll explore the legacy he left behind, the causes he championed, and how he has continued to inspire millions without a nightly spot on television. Stay tuned because this is a story of passion, purpose, and the true power of comedy. So, let's start at the beginning. To understand why Jon Stewart left, we first have to understand what he built and why it mattered so much. Buckle up because the story of Stewart and The Daily Show is one of the most impactful in modern television history. When Stewart first took the helm of The Daily Show in 1999, it was a very different show. Originally hosted by comedian Craig Kilborn, the early version of the show was light-hearted and silly, with a focus on mocking entertainment news and quirky headlines. It was fun, but it lacked substance. Enter Jon Stewart, a comedian who saw the show as more than just a platform for laughs. Stewart had a unique vision. He wanted to make comedy that didn't just entertain but also challenged viewers to think about the world around them. Under Stewart's leadership, The Daily Show evolved rapidly. It became more political, sharper, and bolder. It stopped going after easy targets and started tackling real issues: political corruption, media hypocrisy, and social injustice. Suddenly, it wasn't just a comedy show, it was a cultural phenomenon, a place where people could laugh at the absurdity of the world while also learning about it. Stewart's timing couldn't have been better. As the political landscape grew increasingly polarized, audiences craved a voice that cut through the noise and nonsense, and Jon Stewart delivered. His relentless wit and no-nonsense attitude held politicians, media outlets, and even corporate giants accountable. He didn't just joke about issues, he dissected them, getting to the heart of the matter in a way that was both insightful and hilarious. People tuned in for a laugh but stayed for the truth. But here's the million-dollar question. Why would someone with such a powerful platform, someone at the top of their game, suddenly walk away? What was it that drove Jon Stewart to say enough is enough? The truth is, Stewart's departure wasn't about a single moment. It was about a slow build-up, a mounting sense of frustration, exhaustion, and perhaps even disillusionment. Imagine being in his shoes, every night, taking on the big issues, pointing out the flaws, and bringing laughter to things that, at their core, are often tragic. He was part comedian, part journalist, and part therapist for a nation navigating a chaotic political era, and after a while, that weight takes a toll. For Stewart, it was more than just burnout. In interviews after his departure, he talked openly about feeling like he was making noise but not really changing anything. He started questioning whether the jokes and critiques, as powerful as they were, actually led to real change, or if he was simply feeding into the outrage machine that he himself despised. He admitted there was a sense of, am I still doing this because I feel compelled to, or am I doing this because this is what I'm supposed to do? Stewart began to feel as though he had hit a wall. He was at the peak of his success, yet he couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. In his later interviews, Stewart reflected, I'd had enough. I didn't want to do it anymore, not that way. It was a profound statement from a man who had spent nearly 2 decades redefining what it meant to be a comedian with a conscience. Stewart wasn't content to just keep the machine running. He wanted something deeper, something more meaningful, and he wasn't afraid to step away to find it. When Stewart announced his departure, it was as if the entire comedy world took a collective gasp. Fans were shocked. Many felt betrayed, as though a friend was leaving them when they needed him most. After all, Stewart had been their guide through some of the darkest and most confusing political moments of the 2000s and early 2010s. Social media lit up with messages of disbelief and heartbreak. Colleagues, fellow comedians, and fans alike expressed how much they would miss his nightly commentary. Stephen Colbert, his longtime friend and fellow satirist, joked, "You were infuriatingly good at your job," and he wasn't wrong. But beneath the jokes and tributes was a profound sense of loss. An era was ending, and for many, it felt like they were losing a voice that had spoken truth to power with unparalleled wit and insight. The truth is, Stewart didn't just host a show, he created a cultural institution. The Daily Show under Stewart's leadership became a place where people could learn about the world while laughing at it. This resonated with a generation that had grown disillusioned with traditional media. Stewart was the trusted voice they could rely on. He didn't sugarcoat issues and wasn't afraid to challenge anyone, left, right, or center. His influence extended far beyond the realm of comedy. Stewart's work inspired a new wave of comedians and shows that combined humor with activism. Without Stewart, it's hard to imagine shows like John Oliver's Last Week Tonight or Samantha Bee's Full Frontal. These were comedians who saw that satire could do more than just entertain. It could educate, inform, and even change minds. Stewart's legacy was one of integrity, courage, and a commitment to truth, even if it meant occasionally stepping on some toes. So, what happened when the curtain closed? Did Jon Stewart simply fade into the background? Hardly. In fact, leaving The Daily Show allowed Stewart to focus on causes he cared deeply about, causes he had often championed from behind his desk but now had the time to support fully. One of Stewart's most notable post-Daily Show projects was his work advocating for 9/11 first responders. Stewart had long been a passionate advocate for the healthcare rights of those who risked their lives in the wake of the 9/11 attacks, but now he could dedicate himself to the cause full-time. His impassioned testimony before Congress became a viral moment as he spoke bluntly, emotionally, and unapologetically about the need to support these heroes. Stewart wasn't on a television set anymore. He was in the halls of power, fighting for real change. Stewart also found a way to make a difference through animal rights advocacy. He and his wife, Tracy, bought a farm in New Jersey and transformed it into an animal sanctuary, a place for abused and abandoned animals to find refuge. The sanctuary, which they named the HOW, Helping Other Worthy Farm Foundation, became a passion project for Stewart, a way to give back and make a tangible impact outside the limelight. For Stewart, the sanctuary wasn't just about animals, it was about compassion, connection, and finding a way to heal in a world that often feels broken. But as much as Stewart enjoyed his advocacy work, he wasn't done with comedy. In 2020, Stewart announced his return to television with The Problem with Jon Stewart on Apple TV+. This new show took a different approach from The Daily Show. Instead of nightly satire, The Problem delves deeply into a single issue each episode, from systemic racism to veteran healthcare. It's a slower, more thoughtful format that allows Stewart to explore complex topics in depth with experts, real people, and even those who disagree with him. The Problem with Jon Stewart is Stewart's answer to the question he wrestled with during his last years on The Daily Show: how do you make a real difference? It's not about daily jokes or clever satire. It's about trying to understand the problems we face and finding a way forward. So, why does Jon Stewart's story matter even years after he left The Daily Show? Stewart's journey resonates because it's about more than comedy. It's about integrity, courage, and the power of one voice to inspire change. Stewart could have stayed on The Daily Show for years, maybe even decades, but he chose a different path. He chose to leave a space where he was comfortable to pursue something more meaningful to him. His decision has inspired countless comedians and activists alike. Stewart's career has shown that success isn't just about fame or ratings, it's about staying true to your principles and your purpose. Stewart's exit from The Daily Show reminds us that sometimes walking away is the most powerful choice you can make. His story continues to inspire people, not just in the world of comedy but in every field. Stewart's journey is a testament to the idea that purpose, not popularity, is what really matters. He's shown us that laughter can be a powerful tool, but it's not always enough. Sometimes the fight goes beyond the jokes. That's the real story behind Jon Stewart's departure from The Daily Show. He didn't just quit. He made a courageous decision to follow his convictions, to pursue something deeper, something real. His journey is a reminder that even when you're at the top, there's always room to grow, to change, and to find new ways to make a difference. If you found Stewart's story as inspiring as we did, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for more stories of people who follow their passions to make a real impact. Let us know in the comments, do you think Jon Stewart made the right decision? And what's your take on his new show? Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the boldest leap is the one that leads you in an entirely new direction. See you in the next video.